Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you live, man, with another episode of the Regroup Refocus podcast. Listen, y'all, how's everybody doing today? Y'all know how it is, man. Your boy has to come to you live to give y'all some, good information, some good advice, some positivity, maybe mixed in with a little bit of accountability here. So, hey, man, listen, I thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in. And I want to thank y'all for listening to R3 Radio, too. We tapped into Germany, people. Yeah. We got some people listening in Germany and Africa. So that's big, baby. That's big. So big shout out to Germany and Africa, So we doing some things over here on R3 Radio. We got some people that doubt. But guess what? We here, baby, and we gonna keep moving. So I had to throw that out here for the day. We keep doing big things over here. So y'all keep praying that the brother keep pushing, keep going. Because all I'm trying to do is provide a platform for people, yo. That's it. So y'all know how we roll, baby. So I have to, before we start off the show, I want to let y'all know what we're going to talk about today before I do my quick couple announcements. I want to talk to y'all today about seeing things through. We're going to hit on this topic today because oftentimes we do miss out on different opportunities or certain things because we just don't see it all the way through. We might start it off really with the hitting the ground running. But a lot of times we lose interest in things that we start. We lose interest in things that we do. And I want to talk to y'all about that for today. So if y'all can bear with me and tune in with me for a little bit of time, this is going to be the nature of the topic for today. So y'all know how we roll real quick. Boom, baby. I got to let y'all know where we at. We are here at the Vibe Studios 219 here at 2075 Rush Place here in Lake Station, Indiana. It consists of Ron Reed of the VNO, what you know, myself, Life Coach Jeff of Regroup Refocus, Smooch Wallace, baby. Who is Smooch Wallace? If you don't know him, please get to know him. That man is talented. He does a lot. And also Mary Selena K of Rock Truth Radio, baby. We are the Vibe Studios. If you need your podcast produced or your radio show produced, we have equipment here and facilities here that allow us to do that for you. And, we also got R3 Radio that comes through here, too. So if you want your show on the radio, we offer that service to you as well. Let your people know. Tap in with us. Get at us. Once again, the Vibe Studios here at 2075 Rush Place here in Lake Station, Indiana. Y'all get at us. You can reach out to me at 219-448-8266. Once again, 219-448-8266. Y'all tap in. So, all right, y'all. Now that I've went ahead and I've done that announcement for y'all, because that's pretty much all I got. There are a number of things that I'm going to be involved in. We got a collab show coming up with me and the fellas again. Y'all stay tuned for that. That is coming up I believe the week before Valentine's Day. Please tap in with us with that. That consists of Dr. J, Media Monics, RMF, Reggie Moving Forward, myself, and get this D Smith, Dennis of Shop Talk 7. So, y'all, we make up the collab. We are just 5 men with one mission, and that mission is just to really just promote what it is to be a man. We want people to really tap in on the issues, the different things that we're talking about, and we want to do it in a positive way. We're not trying to go ahead and throw things out there that are too much or too tough for people, but we just want to give y'all our perspective on men and how we move and how we get things done, baby. So that's the deal. So, yeah. But definitely, let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about this heavy. I strongly feel that the reason why when we enter into certain situations and we're not pleased with them is because a lot of times we don't see these things through. Like somebody always people always say, start what it is that you finish. Always start something and finish that thing, okay? And I didn't mean start what you finish. Always finish what you start. I'm sorry, y'all. I need some water. My voice is kind of So I'm kind of focusing on that right now. It's kind of throwing me off. But you always want to make sure that you finish what it is that you start. And it's very key. And that means something. When you finish something that you start, that shows that you're dedicated. That shows that you're committed. It actually shows that you care about what it is that you're trying to do. Now, when you want better for yourself, I get that too. Sometimes we have to be careful about mixing our commingling of us wanting better with thinking that it's either time to transition to something different, something new, because a lot of times that's based off how we feel. And a lot of times God has given us an opportunity, right? An opportunity to cultivate something. And if we haven't cultivated that to the fullest, how can we take something and move it somewhere else? And how can we end up getting the most out of a situation if you haven't been a good steward over what God has given you already? So pretty much what I'm saying is, people, if you're going to do something, do it well. And if you're going to do it well, make sure you're operating in a spirit of excellence wherever you're at. Like we say this a lot of times, right? We say, let's operate at a high level. Let's operate at a spirit of excellence. But oftentimes, have we asked ourselves the question, is that what we're doing? Are we literally taking something that God has given us or something that's been placed right in front of us as a resource? And you have to ask the question, have I done everything I can to get the best out of this? Have I done the best that I can to actually optimize this for my usage, my needs, my wants, and the things that's going to help me within my life? Have I dedicated it to that? If the answer is yes, then you should expand. If you have given your all to what you have, then it is time to expand. But if you have not, if you haven't even taken the time to even know what it would be in a certain area to get a certain feel, because you haven't put your hand on something, you haven't made a move, or you kind of walked into something and you kind of weren't a little nonchalant about it, or your heart wasn't 100% into it. Maybe you have to ask yourself the question, is this what I truly want to do? Is this a hobby for me? Or is this something that I truly wish to make money from? Or is this a hobby for me? Or is this something that I want to do because it's not about me, but it's going to help people? Is it a hobby for me because it makes me feel good? I don't care about what it does for other people. The hobby makes me feel good. That's why I want to do it. So continue to make it a hobby then. But if you don't have a vision, or if you don't have any drive or determination to want to take what you have, mature it in an area, and then have it grow, to me, that says a lot about not just a person, but the situations that you tend to enter into. You have to look at it. Everything that I've been a part of, everything that I've done, I like to see it through. There are times that I could have left certain situations, or I could have left certain people at certain times, and I really had a decision to make. But I chose to stay because I gotta run the whole course through. And sometimes we don't know what that looks like. You know what I mean? Like, we could be giving somebody some advice, but we don't know what running the course means for that person. So I could ask for advice, but you don't know what running the course means for me, as I don't know what running the course means for you. So the best thing to do is, I need to encourage everybody, please, whatever you enter into, give your all. And I'm going to say this. People can tell if you've given your all. People can tell if you've done everything that you can. People can tell. It reflects in your work. It reflects in how you move. It reflects in how serious you take the work that you do. Let's use your job as an example. We all go to our jobs every day. And the goal is to actually perfect that job, to be good at it, to do the job, excuse me, y'all, to do the job to make sure that you don't need any help with it, right? You don't want a boss looming over you or breathing down your neck, right? That's not what you want. You want to get to a point to where you could do it all on your own. So just as your boss would look at you and say, you know what, I can tell you put a lot of work in, I can tell you put a lot of thought in because of the type of work that you like to complete. You don't like to half do the work, right? You don't like to miss out on steps. You don't like to take shortcuts in order to get the same result. Because, like I said, if you miss steps or you take those shortcuts, you can be missing out on key pieces of information as to why you are making the moves that you have to make. So people, just as you would your job, I'm telling you, any endeavor that you wish to get in, anything that you wish to see manifest and make it grow within your life, be very sure to give it your all. Be very sure, be 1,000% sure that that's something you want to dedicate it to. Because let me tell you something. Wisdom isn't always taking every project that you do and saying, I want to switch because I don't feel right about it. Wisdom is taking the projects that you have done and then taking the right time to move, because now you realize that you have outgrown this situation or this particular step. And I want to be honest when I say this. I feel that in every step that I've made in my life, personally, the reason why I can speak to it is because I do the best that I can to analyze every situation that I'm in. And I want to tell you something. When you analyze every situation that you're in, the key point is to use wisdom. The key point is to make sure that you're making an informed, correct decision. No one wants to make hasteful decisions. I have definitely been on the end of making a hasteful situation. And when I have made a hasteful situation, sometimes the outcome doesn't come good. Sometimes it does. But what I'm saying is it's best to use wisdom in any situation that you are in. If you move in wisdom, wisdom knocks out emotions. It knocks out your feelings. It knocks out anything that can deter you from actually looking at a logical situation or a representation of what you want versus what's actually right in front of you. And now I'm telling y'all, that's a tough thing to do. I know for a fact, I've done it before. I know people who I've had talks with about this very same thing. Sometimes you have to be able to remove your own perception of something. And then what you have to do is you have to look at the reality of it. Like, what's the reality of A, B, C, X, Y, and Z? If I have to enter into a situation where I have to assume everything, I don't like that. And you shouldn't have to assume everything either. It's not always it's not good to assume things when it comes to people. Now, if you're going to have an assumption, make sure that assumption is backed by fact. You got to make sure that that assumption is backed by fact. I don't know of any way of any person who could do it any other way. You have to make sure that your assumption is backed by some type of fact. I don't care if it's something you see or something you hear verbally that you're trying to justify. It has to make sense. It's got to make sense. It doesn't make sense for you to be out here moving in the wind, people. It doesn't make sense for you to be making decisions and doing things all haphazardly, right? Because the whole goal is when we want to move forward and we want to make something of ourselves and we want to grow, we want to expand ourselves, our knowledge, our wisdom, whatever the case may be with it, we want to make sure that we're doing it the correct way. And I want to be honest, the correct way is to move in, have a sound mind, have a sound body, and to take your time. And I understand, listen, man, we get fed up with a lot of stuff, yo. We get fed up with a lot of things. And I know when we get fed up with things, sometimes we want to look at them and we want to say, nah, we ain't doing this today. Nah, I don't want to take a chance. I don't feel like going through A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. But you know what? Sometimes we have to look at those steps that we go through in life and we have to say, you know what? I wouldn't be a better person or I wouldn't know how to navigate these situations if I didn't particularly see this one all the way through. I'm telling you, man, I've been there. Well, I've had to go ahead. I backed out of certain things prematurely, and all it did was just bite me in the butt. Because a lot of times what God has to do is he has to prepare you for something. Everything that you're going through in your life right now is literally to prepare you for the next chapter and the next step in your life. That's what it's for. So you got to go ahead and you have to make a way and you have to make sure that you're able to handle the next step. You won't know that if you don't go through everything that you have to go through. I'm telling you the truth. Sometimes it takes those small little tidbits of information that you might need. Sometimes it takes those small steps that you might have to analyze or go through. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a negotiation, you know? Sometimes it takes a little bit of just some willpower. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to share this story with y'all. I was in a partnership with someone who has a great vision to help the community and a great vision to want to help better people, want to offer jobs within the community, actually wants to use the storehouse, who has the storehouse mentality when it comes to the Bible, using a biblical principle in order to help grow the community. The problem is that sometimes, while some may see your vision, everybody doesn't see that vision. So it's hard to get everybody to buy into that type of vision. Sometimes, and I know this, to use a godly principle, a lot of people believe that it's very naive to want to offer strictly help. Okay? And sometimes with using some of these biblical principles, they tend to tug on the heartstrings of your morality. So I was at a point where I was like, okay, I'm down. You know what I mean? I can help out. I can do what I need to do. But sometimes you have to learn how to back away by analyzing. So I'm going to tell y'all what I did with this particular situation. I looked and I analyzed and I saw that, you know what, maybe this particular situation isn't going to be good. And I'll tell you why this particular situation isn't going to be good. Some people you need to support from afar. And that's what I've done. I've supported this person from afar. I've sent him people. I've tell people about him and what he's got going on. That's how I can help him. Some people, you don't have to be directly tied into their business in order to make a good move. Sometimes if you manage your own business, you'd be surprised about how many people are actually watching you and pay attention to you and not the other person. You'd be surprised how some people wouldn't even watch other people if you weren't connected to them. So, it was a lot of people taking a look and seeing what I was doing. They liked the idea that I had, but needed something fresh, needed something different. Now, who's to say? If I would have sat up here and had the idea to have this radio show and this podcast come through there, maybe it might have been different. But that's not the way that God wanted it. That's not the way that it was intended. So we had to make a move. We made a switch, we made a switch. And I'm okay with that switch. But I had to take my time to, and believe me, people, I invested money. Okay, let's not get it twisted. I invested money. Just to put it into a perspective for you all, what I was investing in was a storefront business for about $600 a month. My own money, my own storefront business. Some of y'all might remember this chapter in my life when I was going through this, because it's on my Facebook page. I did this thing. I stepped out on faith. This had to be November, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. That's when I embarked on that. And sometimes you have to take a chance. But I found out that it was time to let it go, only due to the fact because I was getting pushback. So when you get pushback from people and they have their own interests involved, they think you don't see their interests. You do. A lot of times sometimes we have to grow into other people and what they want and how they want it. I think I'm at a better time to go ahead and do a partnership with something like this because it makes more sense. And a lot of times, sometimes these partnerships do not work because you have to analyze what you have to offer somebody. The reason why, and I'm going to give y'all this little tidbit information too. Maybe this can help some of y'all. The reason why I was chasing money, and I'm going to let y'all know I was chasing money at some point in time. I believe we all do this in business, and we chase money because we're in survival mode. We're chasing money because we're trying to find extra income for ourselves. And I found out that's exactly what I was doing. I was chasing the money. Instead of trying to create something that people would want, people will want to come to, people would want to invest in, what I did was I was trying to figure out the how. And I had to realize, Jeff, you are the how. Your vision is the how you intend to help people, how you want to give people a space, how you want to help people manifest their dreams through the wisdom that you want to give them. And a lot of times we have to recognize that within ourselves. So this is why I'm coming to you today by saying you have to see it through. If you're not willing to see your goals through, if you're not willing to see through every situation that you get into, you'll never know what the outcome can be. And a lot of times, people, I'm going to tell you this. it doesn't matter if that outcome is good or bad. What you have to take from it is that you have to learn something from it. If we would start to take our situations and actually look at them and say, you know what, okay, maybe this didn't pan out the way that I specifically wanted to, but what did I learn from this? All you doing is gearing yourself up for the next level. That's it. Honestly, real talk. All you doing is gearing yourself up for the next level. Because if you can gear yourself up for that next level, then, and only then, certain things will start to come your way. You know, people can't invest in something if they don't have anything to invest in. They can't give you money if they don't have anything to give money to. Oh, and peep this out, people. If you stop doing the thing that causes people to invest in you, they have every reason not to invest into you anymore because you stopped. It's not that they didn't believe in you, because I've seen this a few times with some people. It's not that they didn't believe in you. They chose to stop investing in you. It's because you stopped doing what you were doing. So the reason why people wanted to help you was because you kept something up. You kept the mission flowing. You kept the mission going. This can be through sponsorships. This can be through any opportunities that you might have for people to hop on what it is that you want to do. It can be through anything like that. So pay attention. Always know. Hold on real quick, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay. Had to let my guy know I was doing the show real fast. He trying to get a hold of me. I'm going to tell him I'm going to call him at 5:55. So let me tell him, no, I'm going to call you at 5:55 or 5:50. We'll do that. 5:50. We'll do that. So this is the deal, people. And see, my job with this, it don't stop because I'm going to actually be recording another show that I'm going to go ahead and air next week for the podcast as well. So the thing is, my job doesn't stop with this. This is why I say, and this particular person is willing to invest in me. I don't need money from this person. Let me let y'all know this. It's not, I don't need money from this person. This person is willing to invest time because they see the effort that I'm putting into my show, into what it is that I'm touching, into what it is that I'm trying to create and manifest. Because I'm trying to tell y'all, if I can do it, any of y'all can do this. If I can do this, any of y'all can do this. None of this is impossible. None of this is impossible. And I'm starting to learn and realize it's not even hard. Because in order for something to be hard, it's hard because you haven't done it yet. It's hard because you haven't tried it. Just because, and when you start doing it, it's not that it's hard. It's maybe that it doesn't hold your interest. Have you ever noticed that the things that you hold, that hold your interest, those are the things that you want to do. Those are the things that you wish to create. Those are the things that hold a lot of weight within your heart and that you want to push forward. You want to push those things forward because they mean something to you. So just think about it. Next time you embark on an endeavor, maybe something isn't truly hard for you. Maybe it's just that you don't have a desire to do it. Because if you have a desire to do whatever it is that you're trying to do within your goals, I don't care if it's making money, I don't care what it is. For my artists out there, I don't care if you're trying to push an album with music. If you want to do it, and y'all know this, if you want to do it, you'll do it. If it holds in your heart and it captures your attention and it has you, you will do it. There will be no excuses. See, now people, now we get into the accountability part of this thing, because there will be no excuses for this. And there will be no excuses for this because what you're willing to do is you're willing to put forth the effort and the work that it's going to take in order for you to grow. That's the thing, people. That is the thing. You have to be willing to take responsibility for your own growth. You have to be willing to take responsibility for your own trials, for your own tribulations, for those things that come up in your life. And let me tell you something, man. Some things just happen, okay? Some things just happen. I'm here to tell you, And sometimes you just can't explain them. They just come up and they happen. I'm not telling you to take accountability for the anomalies that happen. I'm telling you to take accountability for the things that you create. Take accountability for the situations that you get into. How do I ask yourself a question, how do I turn a bad situation into a good one? A lot of times, y'all, sometimes we don't realize how good we actually have it until we actually ask ourselves, excuse me, how can I turn this bad situation into a good one? And let's be real. There's always a bright side to everything that you do. Can we be honest with that? Can we just be honest with that real quick? There's always a bright side to everything that you do. Now, I'm not saying for those insane cases where things are negative, that ain't what I'm speaking to. That's not what I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to when you want to try to build something, when you want to try to grow something, when you want to be a better you or make your situation better for yourself. I'm trying to tell you that there is always a brighter side to look at. If you're going to look at a situation with negativity, that's all you're going to get. If you don't want to see what's been presented to you, what's actually sitting and laying down at your feet, and you don't want to try to dissect that, break down the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between with it, then you haven't done your job by assessing the situation to make sure it fits and accommodates the needs. So this means taking it all in, not just a quarter of it, not just half, not even 75%. You have to be willing to take in 100% of this thing in order to make it work for you. That's what you got to do. You want to know why I continue to do what I do? Because I say this can't fail. This has to work. I have it made up in my mind that any situation that I get into now, it is going to work, especially if I'm vested in. Oh, baby, please. If Jeff Relaford is invested in a situation, oh, it's going to work. And I'm going to make it work. I'm going to get the best out of it. Because if I don't get the best out of it, now I've shortchanged myself. And I think we should live our lives, where we shouldn't shortchange ourselves for anything. If you want to say you want to have the best life you want to have, go live it. If you want to travel, go travel. I don't care if you got to study up on culture or the place that you want to go to. And then you finally get to the point to where you could go there. Guess what? You built. You plant seeds. God saw what you want to do in your heart. So why don't you just go ahead and do it? Why are you holding back? Stop holding back. Because Lord knows, if you don't give it at least your 100%, you will not see an 100% return come back to you. Hands down. That's it. Hands down. Again, people want to know the sauce. People want the tools. I'm telling you, a lot of what you get in this world is based off of how much work you put into it. Seriously, a lot of what you want as far as kickback, as far as what you want as far as exposure goes, if you want to be known, if you want to be relevant, hell, if you want to be happy. Ask yourself the question, what type of happiness are you putting into your life? Are you wallowing in sorrow and negativity? Or are you at least trying to take steps and to do the things that will fulfill you? Are you trying to search for peace in situations? Are you trying to look for happiness? Are you looking at that bright side that I spoke of earlier? That's the thing, yo. Are you looking into that bright side? Because guess what? You have to. If you don't, what else is there to look at? Just think about it. Just think about it. If you don't look towards the bright side of things, what else is there next to look at? Just think about it. The answer I came up with was indifference or negativity. Indifference or negativity. You don't want to be indifferent about things because that means you can't make up your mind. That means you can't come to a sound decision. You will always be second guessing yourself. So that's the deal. So you have to make sure that you are not stumbling in between those two effects. Negativity, we already know what negativity could do. But indifference, you don't want to be back and forth with indifference. You need to make sure you're solid. You need to make sure that you're doing what it is that you want to do, because that will also reflect, that'll also reflect the amount of energy that you wish to go ahead and put into whatever it is you're trying to do too. Come on, if you're indifferent about something, you're not going to give 100%. What you're going to do is you're going to give the small amount of good that you want to put towards something, and you'll continue to be indifferent. Indifference doesn't get the job done, people. Indifference does not get the job done. What gets the job done is you being sure about what it is that you want to do. What gets the job done is you making sure that, hey, if I do this, I am going to do it, and I'm going to see it through. Not to only 50% of my ability, not to only 75, not to only 10%, not to only 20% of what I know I can do. No, you have to put forth 100% effort. This means having to go around and do things that you particularly won't want to do, but it's all for the growth. It's all for the need and the want to help yourself. Let me tell you something, man. If you are not willing to help yourself, you got to go back to the drawing board. I don't know what else to tell you. Again, these are the things that I tell myself when I go ahead and I enter into situations. I'm not going to tell y'all anything that I don't tell myself. You have to be able to ask yourself the hard-hitting questions. Am I giving my all to it? Is this something that I truly see myself doing down the line? Do I really want to invest all of my time, my energy, and my money into this thing? Am I still in the research stage of it? At least be honest with yourself. Because if you be honest with yourself pertaining to these subjects, that is growth. Regardless of what people say, if you're asking yourself internally the hard-hitting questions, that is growth, people. That's growth. That means now you have laid a foundation to build something off of. Ask yourself the hard-hitting questions and then see where you land. Now, in some cases, you might like where you land. You might not like where you land. But if you like where you land, what can you do to grow and maximize? And if you don't like where you land, again, what can you do to grow and maximize? See, the situations may change, but the question doesn't. The reason why the question doesn't change is because the same question has to be asked so that you can be pushed. The same question has to be asked so you can grow. The same question has to come forth within so that you can see everything full circle for what it is that you wish to do and to complete. Now, the thing is, people, again, we are still into this new year. It is still relatively new. We are new into this year. And I have chosen not to accept certain things. I have chosen not to accept negative thinking. I have chosen not to accept anything that will, cause any craziness to me. I've chosen to accept positive things. I've chosen to accept things that allow me to grow within. I've chosen to accept. And mind you, these are all things I'm putting I in, but put you in. Put yourself, put your name into that. Accept those things. Because I'm telling you, if you accept those things, good will come. I'm talking about if you embrace everything. And when you embrace it, I'm not saying give negativity a hug, give depression a hug. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying give depression a hug. What I'm saying is notice it, recognize it, and then do everything in your willpower to come out of that and to see the light that's on the other end of the tunnel. That's what I'm saying. We live in a world today where when we say things that could bring you out, again, everybody wants to know the how. Everybody wants to know the how. If I tell somebody today, well, they'll ask me, they'll be like, well, Life Coach Jeff, How do I get myself out of depression? I just told you to ask yourself the hard-hitting questions and to be honest with yourself. And when you're honest with yourself, that means you could grow from that. But the thing is, now when you start wallowing in those dark thoughts, you have to be willing to look at the good. Let's say, for instance, you have depression, right? You go to a therapist. You talk it out with somebody. The therapist is going to tell you that it's up to you to make the decision. You have to go ahead and recognize that within yourself. I'm a life coach, so I put accountability on you. But we switch the things that are here in front of you, and we maximize those things that are here in front of you based on the right now. I don't deal with your past, but a therapist will tell you to deal with it. A therapist will tell you to literally get over your past. Maybe not in those particular words, but that's what they are going to essentially tell you to do. And you have to be able to do that. That is the how, people. That's the how. The get over part is to make sure you're doing things that bring you joy, that bring you love, peace, happiness. That's the how. The same thing pertains to business. People want to know how to be successful. You want to know how to be successful? Be happy. Put your passion into it. Put some blood, sweat, and tears into it. Put some research behind it. Look up some things. Do the things that you wouldn't want to do, but if you do them one time, it's already done. Or guess what? We have better options than that. You can hire somebody to do the things that you don't wish to do. And if you don't have the money at the time, guess what? You just got to do it yourself. So either way it goes, something has to get done in order to make something happen. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to my people, Treble and Trosh, Cash Go Crazy. They did a concert that they put together called Headliners Only. And I want to let people know that that is a true representation of what manifestation is. To do it, to grow from something, and to make it better the next time. I had the luxury of doing some video recording for them so they can go ahead and get some different angles of the concert. And there's a reason why I mentioned this. They did smaller venues, like Joe's Bar and Grill. You ever been to Joe's Bar and Grill in Maryville, Indiana? Smaller venue. Backstage, smaller venue. Can hold up to a good capacity of people, but it's not actually a concert venue. You could do a concert there. You could put on a show there, but it's not a concert venue. We were at Morgan Park Academy on Sunday. And when we were there, these boys put on a heck of a show. Cash Go Crazy put on a heck of a show. My boy Smooch Wallace, Jay Menace, went up there and performed, put on a heck of a show. And I'm going to tell you, it's because it was formulated by the minds of people who see where they're trying to go. Now, despite whatever drama might have been had at the concert, I only say this, I don't know for sure, but I only say drama because there's drama during anything. You know, we have all different minds coming together to make a production happen, especially when it's your first larger production. When you're trying to build something to make it grow, it's going to be some things that's going to happen. But despite everything that did happen or could have happened, the show still went on. They got through it. And there was nobody in there, probably a couple people, but there was nobody in there that had anything negative to say about the performance itself. Because guess what? They did a great job. So the point I'm trying to make is, people, you got to start somewhere. You got to build. You got to grow. If you are not willing to start somewhere, if you are not willing to build, if you are not willing to grow, why are you doing the thing that you entered into? Again, people, you can make it a hobby if you want to. But I'm going to tell you something about these three artists and these three individuals. They chose not to make it a hobby. They are making it and turning it into something that can grow, that can be sold, that people can take interest in and want to invest into. I'm trying to tell y'all something, man. Come on. I'm trying to give y'all some stepping stones, baby, because the thing is, a lot of times what we do is we give up on what we start too easily and too quickly. And when we give up on certain things, we have no clue where it might take us later on down the line. You don't want to have to ask yourself, what if? When it's time to depart from something, then you depart. But if the situation or nothing has come to you in order to give you that opportunity to depart, see it all the way through. You might be uncomfortable. You're supposed to be. You might not like it. Sometimes you're not supposed to like it. Nobody said that destiny, nobody said that anything that's supposed to exude greatness is supposed to be easy. Nobody said that. I want you to find a book. If somebody can find a book that tells me that your path to greatness is supposed to be easy, I'll give you $100. No, I'll give you $1,000. If somebody can find me a book that says that specifically, and it has factual evidence to show that nobody had to put in work for anything that they had to do in order to grow, in order to make something happen, in order to utilize all aspects, go back to the drawing board, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, and repeat the process, I will give you $1,000 right now. I'll cash app you the money. But you want to know why? Nobody's going to be able to tell me that, because they can't find it. Because people, it takes your work, it takes your efforts in order to make these things happen and to make them grow. I didn't write the rule book, people. It's just by design. It's there. It shows up in itself every day of our lives. I use the real basic instance of just you working your job. You work your job to perfect your job. So why don't you want to work the thing that you are doing right now in order to perfect it and to make sure that you are giving your all to it? Because if you ain't giving your all to it, you ain't done nothing. I know that's going to hurt some people. But if you have not given your all to what it is that you're trying to do, how do you expect yourself to grow? How do you expect yourself to make money? How do you expect yourself to really put yourself in situations to where you can say, look, I did it? Not I, Jeff Relevant, I as in you. You got to make sure that you give before you do anything, first and foremost, make sure you put blood, sweat, and tears into your brand. Make sure you do everything you can to make sure that you succeed. Because if you don't, you shortchanged yourself. And baby, I don't want none of y'all to shortchange yourself out here. I've had the ability to meet, I've had the, not the ability, but I've had the great pleasure of meeting great people, meeting great minds, sitting down and talking to people who are way ahead of me in what it is that I do. And I'm grateful that I get a chance to learn, because when I learn, that shows me that I haven't completed the work yet. You get to a point where people are recognizing you, they seeing what you're doing, and it's very easy to get caught up in that. It's very easy to get caught up in what people see, all the accolades, what people say about you. They say you're doing good things. But guess what? You could tell me I'm doing good all day, but my work isn't done. My work isn't done. Everything that I have to do in order to make Redirect, Regroup, Refocus great, everything that I have to do to make R3 Radio great, everything that I have to do in order to make sure I'm contributing to these interviews and to have guests and to make sure that I'm being noticed, that's not done. Because guess what, people? Here to tell you, come a little bit close to the mic. Come a little bit close to the screen. Make sure you can hear this. There are bigger places than just Chicago. There are more areas than just Chicago. There are more areas than Northwest Indiana. There are more areas than just America. I hope I said that to the right people. If you're looking to grow and if you're looking to expand, you have to have a big mindset. If you have a small mindset, you will receive small results. But if you have a big mindset, baby, you have to be open to receive bigger results. And that's only because you present them to yourself and you do it. Sometimes these things will get presented to you. Blessings to you, because now you have an opportunity. But if the big doesn't get presented to you, create your own lane. Create your own table. Create your own space. So that way you can make sure that you're able to walk into your own destiny and you don't have to ride off the back of nobody else's. And I'm for real. Sometimes you just got to create your own lane. Sometimes you have to make sure people can see you, the person, see you, the human being, see you, what's exuding out of your heart with the things that you talk about, the things that you put out there, how you wish to actually help people, how you wish to actually create your own destiny. Let people see it. Put it on display. Don't shy from it. Stop creating excuses for yourself. Because if you create the excuse, you ain't going to get nothing done. Honestly. If you go ahead and create excuses for yourself, you will get nothing done. And I'm telling you, like I said earlier, when I told you to put your ear, your ear and come to the screen a little bit closer so you can see what I'm saying. When I whispered to you and said, there are bigger places than Chicago. There are more places than Chicago. There are bigger places than Northwest Indiana. There are bigger places than Northwest Indiana. For you to grow and expand whatever it is that you want to do, people, you got to make yourself a brand that's marketable to all. You can still be to a specific group, but what I mean by all is you have to make sure you're willing to be seen by all. Can't just narrow down your group just because you're scared of what other people are going to think. Can't do that. You have to make sure you got an audience. You got to make sure you have something marketable. You have to make sure you have something that people will want. Because people will let you know very quickly if they want what you're giving them. I don't get views, likes, and shares for nothing. It's because I have an audience and I have some people that want to listen to what I have to say. But you have to be willing to create that. And that's not a fly-by-night situation. That's dedication. You got to put in some work. You got to put in some finances to invest into yourself. You have to put blood, sweat, and tears. Because, baby, I done put some sweat into some tears. Like your life coach Jeff has cried real tears because I want to see this succeed so bad. And there are decisions that I made that I wish I would have made. I ain't put no blood in it yet. A brother ain't got pinched or nothing. You know what I mean? I ain't worked my fingers to the bare bones or nothing like that. I haven't done that. But I put a lot of different efforts into this thing to try to make it work. And all I'm saying is, people, allow me to be living proof. Allow me to be a witness for somebody. You ain't even got to be walking and going down the actual path that I'm going down. I just hope and pray that a little bit of my movements and a few things that I've done in this world can really go ahead and impact a person. If I've done enough to impact one person every week when I come on here and I do both of my shows, I've done more than my job. I've done my job. Everything else that comes after that is merely because I feel that God is going to give me the desires of my heart. My first desire is to go ahead and help you all. My first desire is to go ahead and make sure that you all have something that can either get through your day or through your week. That's what I want to do. So that's what I'm doing. But then second from that is to where, look, yeah, I don't want to be, nobody wants to work a job their whole life. We all want to make money. So God has given me some wisdom to go ahead and find some ways to make some money off this, and I'm going to go ahead and implement them. But also with that, though, it's about helping others, giving others opportunity. So why not create something where you could give others opportunity and you can help them? Why not? Why not create something that's actually for people? Not just for me. All of this can be for me. But why not share it with other people so other people can have a message? Put it out there. Let people hear what they have to say. I'm not the only voice out here in Northwest Indiana. I'm not the only voice out here in Chicago. I'm not the only voice out here in the United States. But why not go ahead and do something for somebody else? Especially if that's what God put on my heart to do. He might not put it on your heart to do, but maybe I can provide something for you, right? Maybe I could go ahead and provide something for you through a segue of me. And I want to thank the city of Chicago heavily because a lot of y'all in the city have embraced your boy. I didn't know how, I tell the story the same way. I didn't know how the city of Chicago was going to embrace my boy. I didn't know how the underground market or just these rappers, these artists, or anybody who's in the game. I didn't know how it was going to be accepted. But guess what? I had something. Y'all like what I'm doing. Y'all still like what I'm doing. Y'all like, y'all share, y'all comment at times. And y'all give your boy a little bit of business. So I appreciate that. But I want to let y'all know everything can extend farther than your reach. The reach that you think you have, you don't even know the reach that you have. You haven't even fully tapped into the reach that you have yet. Because there's a whole nother market for people out here. More branding opportunities for people out here. A whole lot of chances to get noticed. Let me tell you something. Spotify, SoundCloud, downloads for music, downloads for podcasts, streams on YouTube. It's way more. It's so much more beyond that you can do. Some of it requires some hard pounding pounding the pavement. Can't even get my words out. It's that throat, people. But dang, it's dry. Anyway, some of it requires you to pound the pavement a little bit. But sometimes old school is good school, baby. Sometimes old school, the class needs to be in session because we miss out on those core values that actually show us that we have the passion and the drive and the determination and the will to do the thing that we want to do out of this life. And again, I just hope that I say stuff that comes out of my mouth every week that drives you to want to be better, that drives you to want to be different, that drives you to actually want to take accountability for the things that you do. Because at the end of the day, people, I can get up here and talk. I didn't care. I don't care if I didn't have any listeners. I don't care if I didn't have any viewers. But as long as I know that I'm doing what God has called me to do in order to help his people, I'm with it. And I like it. And I'm for it. And it brings me joy. And it brings me peace. So, all right, y'all. I got a call to make. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this show up a little bit early. But, hey, man, look, I'm going to give a few shout-outs, man, because we had some people paying attention and watching for today's episode. Shout out to Solo Heights in the building. Solo from the Heights in the building. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you watching and paying attention. Shout out to Daryl Walker. Okay, Daryl Walker. Queens Healing. Jesus, I can't get it right. I got to get this right, because if I'm going to get this right, if I'm going to talk about her, I'm going to let y'all know what it is. Okay. Hold on. Queens Healing. Because I got to do it. Queens Healing House, located at 901 West Chicago Avenue in East Chicago, Indiana. Okay, Queens Healing House. Let me tell you something. But with Daryl Walker, this woman right here is amazing. Okay, she has products, natural products that help you get over the infirmities that this body tends to put on you with what you eat or the people that you happen to be around, because this is now flu season, people. I want to let y'all know she has the tools and she has the essentials so you can get yourself right. I have been drinking 2 types of teas that she has. One is for blood pressure, and the other one is a cold cough suppressant. If you're starting to feel the symptoms, you drink it. Baby, let me tell you, I bought that thing from her, and I took those, what are those? Oh, my gosh, the shots. Oh, my gosh. What do they call that? Oh, my gosh. It's just that, oh, Jesus. Now I can't get it right. Now I'm trying to sell the lady, and I can't get it right. But I sat up here and I took the 2 types of teas that she had. One was good for to regulate high blood pressure. I don't have high blood pressure, but, you know, you always got to put the good nutrients in your body to help regulate some stuff. You don't know what you might come up with down the line. And the other one was for the cold and cough suppressant, and I have sea moss. Yes, sea moss. Elderberry sea moss, because she has flavored sea mosses, people. Oh, my God. Excellent. Awesome. A mango colada that I should have purchased on that Sunday when we were at the concert because they had vendors there. Should have got it. But Queens Healing House, people, please hit her up. She is open on Tuesdays from 2 to 6, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 2 to 6, and Saturday from 10 to 5, okay? That's 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Tuesday through Thursday, and on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Her number is also 219-341-7104. Once again, 219-341-7104. Miss Dara Walker, Queens Healing House at 901 West Chicago Avenue in East Chicago, Indiana. Y'all solicit this woman. Y'all get yourself right for the flu season. Y'all get yourself right just in general, because she has products that will truly help cure the body. And her story is amazing. I plan on having her sit in the chair right next to me so she can talk about it. So big shout out to her. And I gave that whole shout out because I'm giving everybody else shout outs. Shout out to D Smith, period, my boy from Shop Talk 7. Be Essential, shout out to you. Also, you always tune in. You always give a brother some likes, something like that, everything. Comments, the whole nine. I appreciate it. And Miss Mocha Brown. I had the luxury and pleasure of meeting you this Sunday at the concert, last week Sunday at the concert. And you are a joy, ma'am. Thank you. I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for sharing the episodes, liking the posts, the whole nine, girl. I appreciate you. So, all right, y'all. And also, like I said, we have viewership and listenership in Germany and Africa. That was the other country, Africa. So R3 Radio is getting out there, people. I'm trying to let y'all know it's growing. So, all right, y'all. It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, on R3 Radio. And remember, redirect, regroup, refocus. And I love y'all so very much. And peace out.